The last day of school must be studied as the most diabolical day of the school year. Kids would legitimately do anything out of the ordinary, like they're in an episode of Uncle Grandpa or some shit. I swear, these niggas be looking like angels for the whole school year, but on the last day of school, their whole personality does a 180 like Zion Williamson. So today, we will be talking about the different types of students on the last day of school. The first thing we have to talk about is the people who are failing all their classes. Bro, these niggas never show up to class more than 3 times. Never did a single assignment and fail all their tests, but will go down on their knees like they're Ash Cash or some shit and beg the teachers to pass them. My nigga, your grade is lower than the average rating of season 8 of Game of Thrones. How you expect the teacher to bump up a grade by 40% without getting fired? We also have the kids who start handing in every single assignment. Yo, it could be the first piece of assignment that we got all the way in September and they expect the teacher to mark it. So now the teachers there start looking like a paper shop. I low-key feel bad for these niggas because these teachers mark slower than a fucking turtle. It could be an assignment that I know I did well on and these teachers don't even mark it. But on the other hand, when I do badly on an assignment, they turn into the Flash and before I even reach home, my mark drops lower than the fucking Titanic. And for any person who thinks you can pass the course, if you have lower than a 30, just put the summer school in the bag, bro. The next thing we have to talk about is the people who skip classes on the last day. Bro, this doesn't make any sense. What's the point of you coming to school if you're not gonna be in class? But to be honest, I don't even blame them because on the last day of school, classes are even more emptier than the chum bucket. I would skip the last day, but my parents were too strict when it comes to going to school, saying some bullshit like you're gonna learn something important today. Bro, for the majority of the school year, I never learned shit, and they expect me to learn something on the last day of school. ChatGPT and Quillbot, low-key, been moving like 2015 Messi and Neymar when it comes to carrying my grade. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. On the last day of school, teachers don't make us do any work, so it leads to some of the best moments in school. But one thing that makes me angry is the teachers who give us work on the last day. My nigga, why is you giving me homework and assignments on the last day of the school year? This is the last time I'm gonna see you, and this is how you wanna end things. The next thing that we have to talk about is the people who cry on the last day of school. I swear, I will never understand why motherfuckers be crying on the last day. My nigga, you don't have to do homework and tests for the next 2 months. And the reason why these niggas be crying is that they won't see their friends again in school. Relax, bro. It's not like they're gonna go to a remote location like Davy Jones' locker. Yo, you do realize you can meet each other over the summer break. The only valid reason that I will excuse this treasonous behavior is if it's the last day in 8th grade and high school. But if you're in any other grade, you do realize that the same people you're crying about are gonna be here in September. It's not like they're gonna disappear like Gary when he left SpongeBob. The hallways will be filled with people bawling their eyes out and hugging each other tighter than a mother and a newborn baby. You would swear to God that everyone was on the verge of going to war or some shit. But the most aggravating thing is the kids who start hugging the teachers and giving them presents. Yo, this could be the strictest teacher that deadass looked you in the eyes and told you to hold your bladder in for the whole class. The niggas that usually do this are the teacher's pet. The teacher's pet are the most infuriating people I have ever laid my eyes upon. It takes a lot for me to dislike someone, but these niggas be doing the most, like reminding the teacher that we have homework and telling everyone that the test wasn't hard. So on the last day, these niggas are downright depressed. Yo, the class clowns are also in the same boat. These niggas start feeling even more depressed than Squidward tentacles. Yo, one of the best feelings about the last day of school is the fact that we won't be in school for 2 more months. I don't know about you, but I'd be happier than when SpongeBob was on his best day ever. Yo, never have I ever once woken up on a school day and been excited. But on the last day of school, I start pulling out new emotes like I'm Chris Brown or some shit. But there's always those people who are too excited when school ends. They be destroying the entire school, like breaking the toilets, smashing the chairs, and drawing on the walls. Yo, don't even get me started about all the paper that's being thrown away. I don't know if it's just my school that does this, but whenever it's the last day of school, everyone gets pieces of paper that they have, throw them in the halls. I low-key be feeling sorry for the school janitors who have to clean up all this shit. Yo, if I saw this when I'm walking in, yo, I would have quit my... The next thing that we have to talk about is the people who fight on the last day of school. School fights are the most common occurrences that take place on the last day. Them bitches are even more common than a black person in KFC. It's like a yearly tradition at this point, like Christmas or Easter. Yo, as soon as the bell rings, we see 2 niggas throwing hands like they're in Tekken or some shit. So now the entire school starts spawning out of nowhere like when Naruto summons his shadow clones. The teachers come and try parting the fight like when Moses parts the Red Sea. These niggas think that just because it's the last day of school, they won't get in trouble. The principal just suspends them for the start of the next school year. On the last day of school, I often see people confessing their feelings to their crush. Bro, this is quite possibly the worst thing that you can do. So you see this person every single day for 9 months, and you're doing it a day before summer vacation. To be fair, I understand the tactics. Yo, if they get rejected, they don't have to see each other for 2 months, and if they get them, they can spend the summer with each other. The best advice for any guy in high school is to never approach a girl in a group. She could be the kindest and quietest person, but as soon as she's with her friends, her personality does a 180 like Mr. Cracker. The last thing that we have to talk about is the people who ask you to sign their yearbook. These people are the most insufferable people you will meet on the last day, and most of the time it's the people who you've never met once in school. So you sign their yearbook and they expect you to sign one for them. I swear, most of these people be putting the most random shit in my yearbook, and some of these people handwriting be looking like a fucking ancient language. There's also the kids who start asking the teacher to sign their yearbook. Bro, at this point, their yearbook start looking like a coloring book with the amount of signatures. The last thing that we have to talk about is the guys that every girl wants to sign their yearbook. I honestly have never been more jealous than seeing these people. These girls are on their knees, pause, just to ask someone to sign their yearbook.